Journey back in time, asking questions and negating past habits. Hello, language explorers. Today, we're going to travel back in time and dive into a very important aspect of the English language, discussing habits in the past. Specifically, we're focusing on forming questions and using negative forms with the modal verbs used to and would. By the end of this video, you will be able to confidently ask about and deny past habits. So let's jump right in. Before we start forming questions and negatives, let's quickly recap how used to and would help us express habits in the past. We often use used to and would to talk about things that happened regularly in the past but no longer occur in the present. For example, I used to play football every weekend. When I was a child, I would visit my grandparents every summer. Note that would is only used with repeated actions, not with states. So we don't say, I would live in Paris. Instead, we say, I used to live in Paris. Now, how do we form questions with used to? It's simple. We start with did, followed by the subject, and then used to, and the base form of the verb. For example, did you used to play football every weekend? Note that it's used to, not used to, in the question form. It's a common mistake to continue using used to in questions and negative forms, but make sure you switch to used to. In negative sentences, used to also changes a bit. We start with the subject, followed by did not or didn't, and then used to and the base form of the verb. For example, I didn't used to play football every weekend. Remember, it's used to, not used to, in the negative form. Now let's see how to use would for questions and negative sentences. When forming questions with would, we invert the subject and would. For example, would you visit your grandparents every summer? For negative sentences, we simply add not after would. For example, I would not or wouldn't visit my grandparents every summer. Now it's your turn to practice what we've learned. Try to form questions and negative sentences using used to and would from these statements. 1. We used to go camping every summer. 2. He would read a book every night. And there we have it. You've learned how to form questions and negate past habits using used to and would. Remember, practice is key to mastering these concepts, so keep practicing until you're confident. As always, if you have any questions or need further clarification, feel free to leave a comment below. Stay tuned for more language journeys. Happy learning!